I'm Nadia Gurwell.
I'm John Gugliatino.
I'm Michelle Blanchard. Welcome to 30 Minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Nadia Gurwell. How's everyone today? I am your host and producer, and today my guest is Richie Rich from La Mega Hartford radio station, and he's going to tell us his story, which is always great to hear, especially from people who've overcome like a lot of obstacles, and he has. So I'm thrilled to have him on, very happy that he could sit with me today and talk with us a little bit. Richie, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I'm thrilled to have you on today. So let's start off with your background. I know you were born in Stamford, right? And how long in Stamford, Connecticut? How long did you live there for?
Well, I lived there for several years, pretty much my childhood, back and forth here and there, and then but mainly Stamford was my direct location where I went to school, did everything that I had to do there, and so probably till around maybe 22, 23, and I left to college and did the college thing, but then you always go back home, so
Right.
That's pretty much what I did.
Why did you leave Stamford?
I just felt like a lot of people always say that
Yeah.
where you're from is like where you have the most resources.
Right.
For some reason, I just felt like I needed to leave Stanford and start fresh and go to a place where people didn't know me and challenge myself a little bit more to get myself, together, get my mentality correct, get the people that I were hanging around with right. Not saying that the people that I hung around with weren't good, but, I've always been able to keep myself around, positive people and people that were always in the best interest for what we were trying to do. I just felt within myself, I just felt like it was time for me to, step out of that area and try to build myself on another level.
So when you left Stanford, you told me when we chatted, a couple weeks ago, that when you left Stanford, things changed for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, with Stanford, we tend to get comfortable in our surroundings, and I just felt like I was on a downward spiral, kind of, so to say.
Why? How come?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was just happy. You know what I mean? And I just wasn't happy with what I was doing and where I was going with myself, and just the type of individual that I wanted to become and was becoming. So, we just decided to step out. I got a couple trials, tribulations in between there, and
tell me about those. Tell me about those.
Just being in the scene. That was the time where I was really getting into the music heavy and getting into the nightlife element heavy, and it was taking a toll on what I was trying to I was in the balance between do I want to be a regular 9 to 5, or do I want to pursue this music or this type of environment? Because it's an environment. It's a totally different animal when you're in the nightlife business and you're in the music scene, and it can take, it takes a toll on you. When people are awake, going to work, you're probably just sleeping for 2 hours. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
to do that every
different.
day,
Yeah,
over and over.
Yeah, so
It takes a big toll on you.
not only that, it also affects, because you're used to being told, you got to go to work, you got to pay bills, you have to do this, you have to live this certain life, and then when you go into that type of scene, it's like, all right, this is new, this is fresh, you got to be here, you got to be there, you have to do certain things. And if you're not strong-minded, or if you're not if you don't have that will, it can take over your life. And in the beginning it did. It left me broke, homeless, sleeping on people's floors.
How long were you homeless for?
A good few months.
How was that experience?
It was, what it was? I have a great support system with my family, but my pride said I am not going back to mommy's house. I refuse to go back to mommy's house. So I just didn't want to, go back home. And I knew I could have, but I said, this has to be part of something great. I knew I could work, I knew I could do the basic but I just felt like I felt it, that I knew that I could be something great within this. I know that I can do great things, and I just stuck with it, and I'm thankful for all the people that took me in and gave me an opportunity to get myself together. And it took me a few months.
That's what my next question was. How long was that process of figuring yourself
Well,
out?
it happened to me twice.
Twice?
Yeah, the first time was when I was first getting started. And then the second time it happened to me when I was rocking and rolling, and I was just putting the money. I didn't grow up with, the silver spoon, so when I started seeing that kind of money, that we were making at that time.
Is this from music?
Yeah, this is from nightlife. This is from
So were you
music,
promoting
bringing
artists?
artists,
Okay.
and engaging with people every week. At that time we were working Tuesday through Sunday. It was insane. It was different spots, different areas, different locations, Connecticut, New York City. It was just New Rochelle. We were everywhere. Before I even thought about moving
to New York?
To that whole other element,
Right.
And
So what happened then when you got yourself going? I mean, did you have some kind of
yeah, well,
major?
When I started moving my seeing that my son was, I wasn't seeing him more, and just not being able to, I had to have a place for him, for him to visit me. And I said, man, Rich, you can't keep going here to there, or getting out of this apartment. I needed to be more stable. And that's where I gave credit to my mom. She said, listen, I see that you're doing this. She really didn't like it. She saw the struggles I was going through, but you have to be stable at least.
For your son?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, that was it for me. My son's name is Richie. He was the the main reason. If I didn't have him at that time, he was the main reason why it was time for me to, it was fun, but it had to be a business, and that's the difference.
It's not a hobby.
Oh yeah.
It's not playtime.
Oh no,
but you have to monetize.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I kick myself all the time because I say if I would have saved up a lot of the money in between that time, I would have been very, well off. At that time.
So you got really
amazing.
comfortable. You thought the money would just keep coming and coming.
Fast. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I always.
So did you hit rock bottom?
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Twice.
Twice. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, getting kicked out of apartments, getting evicted.
Evicted because you couldn't pay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just that I was trying to brand myself,
Brand yourself as
I was all the money that I made, I always put it back into the company. I always had to buy flyers, posters, doing different things on the websites, hiring people to do that. We had to pay for promotion, the DJs, the movement itself. Everything I made, I just wanted to be great. So I wanted to make sure I had everything. So I sacrificed all that all the time. So if the rent didn't get paid that month because I was busy doing that, then the rent didn't get paid. And that's what it was. But I had to do it. Because if I didn't do it and everybody else was doing it and I suffered in that element, or if I didn't have flyers that week and I couldn't pass it out to people and go to all the malls and go to other parties that were good and we had to do the cars. Back then it was a lot of guerrilla promoting, a lot of being in the street, a lot of posters, a lot of old school style promoting.
Yeah, a lot of marketing in that fashion.
Oh yeah.
Not like now. Social media has been a huge game changer.
Social media has killed the game.
Huge,
I say.
yeah.
Because
and you're in that platform also,
for sure.
right? And
I mean, you have to go with the times. You
right,
know what
you
I
have to
mean?
evolve.
Yeah. I mean, look at these beautiful cameras here. Back in the day, you probably had the guy rolling like this, but now everything's digital. Everything is moving in a different direction right now. The problem that I have with that is that for me, when you're doing my type of business, you can't really engage with a person. I like to give you something. Hey, you gotta come.
I see what you mean.
Oh,
right.
my birthday is this month. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
My birthday is this month, and I want to. And then right there, you and I can get an idea of what you want to do and how I can make that experience better for you. I can't do that on social media unless somebody hits me up. I'm waiting around. Before, it was hey, what's going on? Hey, bring your friends. So
it's less personal.
Oh
now.
yeah, for sure.
Less
for sure.
So I remember you saying you did you did get a degree from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting,
That's right.
And you worked before the radio station that you're at now. You worked at another one.
Yes.
How long were you there for?
I was at that station for about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
And then I worked at a smaller station
Okay.
for like a good year. Then I got hired at the other one. Then I moved to La Mega, where I'm at now.
Yeah. What was the idea behind the show that you have now every Sunday?
Well, you know, going to New York, and my dad is born and raised in New York, going back and forth there, the family, my mom, you know, just everybody, we grew up on freestyle music.
And a lot of people don't know what freestyle
No,
music is.
it's not. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
love. It's love songs with a great beat. It has a lot of character. It has a lot of emotion, and the problem is that, you know, a lot of people don't understand it. You know, like, it's a lot of fun. Like, when you're dancing to it, like, there's not a lot of music that you can go over there and do your favorite two-step. There's no wrong in dancing freestyle, by the way. Like, there's no like doing the Dougie or, you know, the nay or whatever. There's none of that. It's just, you know, it's just straight, like, you're into more the lyrics. The lyrics is what captivates people.
Right.
And like, it's I don't want to say it's a forgotten genre, because a lot of people still support
It's very popular
the music.
still,
Yes.
yeah.
I just think that the labels, the radio stations, they don't give that genre of music a chance. And it took me a while to convince my boss, listen, this is,
So you saw a need for it.
oh yeah, without a doubt. Not only that, because I love it. And when you're passionate about something, you know that it comes naturally, you know what I mean? And when we're doing what we do on the radio, and, you know, we're on the social media, it's natural because it's real, you know what I mean? It's not fake, we're not acting, we're not, you know,
Right.
It's real raw emotion. Like, I get so caught, like, I be out of nowhere, I don't even know what I be thinking about, and I be like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because, like, it's just, it brings you back to a place
Right. Yeah.
that you know that was happy, or you were in love, and
From
how you
the
got
past,
through it. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
memories.
for sure. Or maybe even something that you're going through right now. You know what I mean? Because, like, music was like that back in the day. It helped you relate to maybe things that you were going through, or the way that you felt. You know,
How long you been doing that show?
maybe a little close to a year.
And this is through Facebook Live.
Yeah, it's live on FM radio, and right
Okay.
now we just started airing in Boston. We're in Connecticut, Mass, and then now we're airing live on FM radio in Boston and on the Boston La Mega, and but this is on Facebook Live.
Right.
And it's crazy because we started. I remember when we were doing 5 people or 15 people, and I was excited. I was like, yes, we did it. 20. We're gonna get to 20 next week, I promise. And now, out of nowhere, it just exploded.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and what do you credit that to? What do you attribute it to?
You know what? Just the support from the people. Like, freestyle fans, like, they're loyal. They are super loyal. You have to execute, though. Like, you have to give them what they want.
Which is?
But just good music, good vibes. My label is positive vibes only. That's it. When you go on my show, like, you have to, like, if you're feeling sad, no worries, because we're gonna elevate you. And that's what our goal is.
And it's all about, like, giving the consumer, the customer, the marketplace, the value that they're expecting, and also that it's an experience.
That's right. That's right. Well, I always tell them, get ready, because, like, when you're, from the minute by the time I get off the radio or off Facebook Live and everything, like, I'm exhausted, because from that moment, once that show starts, like, I tell myself, Rich, you have to give these people everything you got in that moment, and that's what I do. From that, I go right in. By the time I make it home, I'm like exhausted.
Could you imagine doing that every day for 2 hours?
Listen, I do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't go on Facebook
Right.
Live. And just on the radio, like, I even though, I look at it like this, like, it's harder because people can't see you. So I'm like, man, I have to engage with these people, but I can't see them. I can't see if they're liking it. I can't see if
Right.
they're really involved.
But
like,
here
you know.
it's instant because
yeah.
you can see like how many
Oh, yeah,
views you
Facebook
got,
Live, yeah.
how many people shared it, all the comments. How do you keep up with all the how many comments do you get?
In yesterday's show,
Yeah.
it was 17,000.
17,000 comments.
17,000
I mean, can you possibly keep up with all those comments?
I try. Mind you, I'm on the phone, so the thing is like this big, and the letters are this big, and I'm in denial. So I have to tell them like this, you know, and they go so fast.
Right, it goes
And,
quickly.
Yeah, and the people be like, hey, he's ignoring me. No, I'm
I just
not
can't
ignoring
see you.
I'm half cross-eyed right now because the things go so fast. Imagine, you know, between 800 and over 1,000 people on there commenting at the same time, and things going bing, 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 bing.
So how many views did you get yesterday?
I do believe we were over 100,000.
100,000 views.
Yes.
Wow. Did you ever imagine that this show would be that successful?
You know, I knew it was going to be successful.
How did you know that?
Because I knew where I could take it. Like I had.
Where
the
did you
vision.
want to take it?
I just wanted it to get on FM radio. I wanted to prove to people that freestyle still has a place. All those people that have been putting in work to keep freestyle platformed, from the Sal Vitellos to the Vito Brunos and all the people. And there's a guy that I just been able to pass through on Johnny Limo. Like all these people, there's a lot more. Those are people that I just know, you know, like the ones that do the shows in the casinos. Like, you know, there's a lot of them that work hard to keep it alive. You know,
Right.
Not only that, the artists are out there. You know, they're a little older now, and
So
they're
how do they?
sitting there
Is that a
kicking
way
butt.
for them to stay fresh? Also,
Well-
like constantly circulating.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it keeps it alive, and not only that, like there's a lot of the artists are now coming out with new albums. Like,
Are they
you
really?
know,
But do you
Johnny,
think they'll be
rapping.
Do you think they'll be
I do.
successful again?
I do. What I believe is that like a lot of them are very talented. Like a lot of them, like they like all different genres of music. I mean, look how Mark Anthony. Yesterday I played a Mark Anthony song. He's saying freestyle. Look at La India. She's saying freestyle. But then they crossed over to salsa and they blew up.
I didn't know Mark Anthony sang freestyle.
What?
I had
Yeah.
no idea he
Oh, yeah,
sang
he
that.
did.
Yeah. Oh wow.
He did, and he's
Okay.
amazing. Well, you know, he can sing English and Spanish
Right.
and make you cry, scream, put your hands up. I went to a Mark Anthony concert, and I'll never forget it. And I was there with one of my friends. She wanted to date me, and I was there, and I was so emotional. I was like, every song, I was like, "You'll feel," and she's looking at me, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing."
I don't know how
Yeah.
that date went.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. So I mean, like, the music itself, the artists, they're still working. Cynthia, you know, K7 TKA, Lisette Melendez, Johnny O, who's amazing. Judy Torres, like these are all artists that, you know, there's more. Noel, there's a lot of them that are still working.
Yes, they're still circulating.
They're still.
And the music industry is very tough
yeah.
because a lot of people have only like, you know, one-hit wonders, and then
That's right.
they evaporate.
That's right.
So to keep it going.
Well,
is-
the people support them so much. Like I said, these people, they're super loyal. Like I'll do a poll, who's the queen of freestyle, and they get emotional. Wait a minute, that's my favorite. They don't play around. The freestyle fans do not play around. So I mean, like it's been great though.
So what are some of your other goals next to like, you know, the show that
Well,
you have now?
the show itself.
But the show is like a huge platform for you
That's
because
right.
you have like a lot of exposure through it, and you know you're becoming an influencer, which
That's right.
people you know start following you
Yeah,
and liking you, and
You know, the thing that's more gratifying than anything is that when people send me messages and they tell me how the show uplifted them from that moment that we got on, and that's what I want. Like I want them to feel my energy. I want them to understand what I'm doing. I want to inspire them. I want them to believe in themselves. You know, a lot of them are, you know, some people are brokenhearted on there. You know what I mean? And I want them to understand that. I tell them all the time, love starts. You got to love yourself first. It
Yeah.
starts within.
Yes.
If I didn't love who I was, I would have been a goner a long time ago. But I knew that I wanted to be like somebody that to help people. I've always wanted to be that type of a person. So, you know, thanks to my dad, you know, music was always in my family, and it's something that I enjoy and that I love, and you know, I just always been involved with somehow.
Are you
Just kept it
pursuing
going.
also some kind of career in music or not?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Right now, I'm super engaged in doing this radio thing and trying to make it work, and also bringing out the other different genres of music that I feel need to be elevated. And I'm working in a small market like Hartford. People say Hartford, Connecticut, they think it's big. It's bigger than some areas in Connecticut, but it's not New York. It's not Miami.
Right.
It's not Boston. It's not those areas that are highly, more highly populated. So I'm working with a small market right now, but I'm okay with that because it's the little things that make the big things work. So we'll
It's the
start
little
there.
steps.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's little, wins that lead to like the big
Absolutely.
one. So when you're having like those moments of where you're doubting what you're doing, because everyone does.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone goes through, periods in their life where, like, okay, maybe this is not the right move. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Should I really be doing this? And then not everyone is supportive either of what you do.
That's right.
How do you get past that?
I just remember where I started from.
Like, you go back to.
I remember the times, the struggles. It's been tough, but I just go back to those days and tell myself that it could be worse, and that we got to pull through. And then I remember the messages. Sorry.
No, it's okay. What about your son? Is he also?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my son can tell you about music.
Is he also wanting
Oh,
to
yeah.
have a career
Yeah.
in music? Are you supportive of that, or would you like him to do something else?
I just want him to stay educated. That's all I want. I tell him all the time, nothing else matters but your grades in school. He's probably tired of hearing it, man. I tell him, you'll thank me tomorrow, I promise. Music will be forever, but you have to you have to have a backup plan. Stay educated, stay within yourself. He just loves music. All my family loves music, you know. But, he sees me how I'm working. I want him to understand, the road that it took to get there. It's not easy for anyone. But I want him to stay educated,
It's
Please
important.
Stay in school, yeah.
Very important.
Stay focused, That's
And it's
what I
hard
think.
for people to stay focused also. They stay focused for a little while, then they lose it. They get like on a different kind of path and they lose their track, and
That's
then
right.
getting back on
They
is a
wa-
challenge.
They want to try different things because there's a lot of negativity out there. And
A huge
They,
amount.
they might tell you this doesn't work, and then you start doubting yourself. You start moving differently, and you got to stick to what you feel is right. When people saw my show in the beginning and they only saw 10, 17 people, they were like, "Oh, why you doing that freestyle? That thing is whack. Oh, it's terrible."
You had people actually telling you that?
all the time.
But you've only been doing it a year.
Yeah, I know. There's a guy. He's awesome. He's been doing freestyle for 20 years, and it's been it's been tough. He's but people are always doubting everything if they don't.
But I
understand it.
I see other people on Facebook Live who are doing something similar to what you're doing, but they don't have the amount of views that you do. So why do you think that is? I mean, why do you think your show has that many more views?
Like I said, I just believe it's just the passion that I have for the show, and the people. Like I have so many different. I don't call them fans. I call them family. I have so many people that support the show, and they're genuine people, and I think that if the other people just stuck to what they know and how they portrayed it and what they valued, they would probably, there's awesome people out there, they're very
definitely.
talented, and I just, just stay within myself. I just stay focused.
Yeah, very important. What are your final thoughts?
Well, I'm just happy that I have an opportunity to share my journey, and thank you for
You're welcome.
allowing me to
Happy to have you.
to speak on this, because a lot of people know Richie Rich, they don't know Richie Ojeda, So I mean, like it's a different value, but there's a lot behind this movement, and I just want to keep going. You know what I mean? Keep going, keep moving forward every day.
Yeah, very important. What would you say to like, you know, single dads out there that are struggling to raise their kids, you know, work at the same time, have a personal life also.
Just keep your priorities in order. And your movement has to, you have to move very cautiously every day, because you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your child. And remember to, you know, to keep your emotions in check and just stick to what you believe, but go for it. And remember that every day, you never know what can happen. You know what I mean? You never know who's watching, you never know who's talking. Just stay within yourself, follow your dreams, follow your passion, and love your kid, love your child.
It's very important also to keep like the lines, like you were saying, that the lines of communication open.
That's right.
With your kids.
That's
you know,
right.
that you're involved in their
100%.
life.
And you know what? And you know, I sometimes I can't do like what, you know, what they want me to, like. Can't go to the birthday party at 7 at night, or, you know, I miss certain things, but always take out time to do what you have to do, and spend time, and, you know, try to make it work. But I have good at home, and they support me, and, you know, they understand, and they know that we're on the rise right now.
And your mom is also very involved.
Oh, yeah.
Right, with your.
Big mama's boy. Yeah, I'm a big mama's boy. Very much so. And she supports me too. She helps me, you know. And like I said, you know, I've had the support. You know, I have to, sometimes I gotta do it on my own. You gotta go out there and make it happen.
No one's gonna do it for you.
That's right.
No one's gonna execute for you. I mean, you could have like all the ideas in the world. You could say, I'm gonna do this and this and this and that. But if you're not implementing it, it'll never happen.
I tell everybody, the world will never go to you. You have to go to it.
Yes.
You gotta go out there and make it happen. There'll be that one person that believes in you, that will take you to where, give you that door to open up and run through it and make it happen. And that's what La Mega has done for me.
That's a great radio station. They've given you like an amazing opportunity.
They're allowing me to do my thing. He's the Nelson Brody's, he's been in the business for years, so he understands, he sees the vision.
Yeah, and that's important also, that you have people behind you that see what you're trying to do, that support you on your goals, that share with you the vision, because then you don't feel so lonely on your journey. Because becoming an entrepreneur, or branding yourself, it could be a lonely journey. Very hard and lonely and sad. Because most of the time you're like, you don't know what you're doing.
That's right. And the other thing is that people just don't understand you.
Right.
They just don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, and that's why I say stay focused. Yeah.
It was great to have you on
thank you
today.
So much.
Thank you for coming on so much. And stay tuned for my next episodes next time. And thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.